is that ability to just put your fandom aside for a second.
I am.
You know, and I've made it very clear to everybody listening, I am not a Knicks fan. I don't pretend. But I will take the hat off and try to be as fair as I can. In the case of Judge and Brunson, you're incapable of it. You just are.
No, I'm not.
You're incapable of eliminating the bias in your heart.
No, you're incapable. And I'm going to teach you a little something about radio.
What have I done?
I'm going to teach, kiddo, get on my lap. I'm going to teach you a little something how this works. You're incapable.
Don't ask Sean Morash.
You're incapable of separating the past Yankee legends and ghosts when judging Aaron Judge. Everything you said about Jalen Brunson, you could actually say about Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is punished because of the uniform he wears. Jalen Brunson is propped up because of the uniform he wears. But in the context of their sport...
That's, by the way, completely fair take.
In the context of their sport, Aaron Judge is way more kingly than Jalen Brunson is. That is just like an undeniable
Can you do
fact.
it in the playoffs,
and then to say
brother?
The king of New York is, it's like...
Here's the problem.
Well, he's not Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Joe DiMaggio, Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera. He hasn't won as many championships. Jalen Brunson's better than Carmelo Anthony. Of course he's the king. Like, what are we doing?
This isn't the final word, but this is the clarification of this. What you just said is so accurate. In the context of the sport, there's no one better than Aaron Judge. He's an MVP. He performs. He hit 60 close
Except
to 60
in the
home runs
playoffs,
and hit
Kiki.
320. Like, it's been, one other person has done that in Major League Baseball history? Maybe none. So he's exceptional relative to the baseball as a whole. Jalen Brunson is not that to the NBA.
Totally agree.
He's not. He's not even in the MVP conversation.
He should be, but he's not.
I get it. I'm just talking. I'm clarifying what Sean is saying.
Yeah.
But to the Knick and Yankee sport fandom sphere, Jalen Brunson probably sits on top of Aaron Judge.
Yeah, I think.
Because a New York sport fan is delusionally aggressive towards a take, towards their emotions and how they feel in the moment. And that moment, that how they feel in that moment, it persists, it lasts. Like, you don't forget it. Like, you don't forget how you felt 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Like, you're never going to forget that.
I completely agree.
Right? You also aren't going to forget how you felt when Aaron Judge dropped a fly ball in Game 5.
It's a big part
and
of
so,
it.
like, these
Unfairly,
these
but it is. I'm
pockets
sorry.
of moments that happen in sports in New York get romanticized to the point where they become the top of the pedestal.
Yeah.
It's not the overarching picture. It's like these little moments, these little pockets of moments become the thing that people talk about to clarify or at least justify their opinion on something.
You know what's
and
funny?
you can't tell them that doesn't belong on the top of the pedestal.
I think everything you just said and everything you just said, Sean, you guys are right. Like, I don't think you guys said anything wrong. But you're still unable to separate your biases in just answering it that it's Jalen Brunson. Like, I get the sports are different.
Dude, you're talking to him.
I'm talking to him. I think you nailed it.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But
you're capable of doing
but you
it.
know what? No. I'm just telling you why.
I know why.
I just told you why I agree with you.
Yes.
Because there are moments that Jalen Brunson has had that are just, they're going to define your memory of this sports era with the New York Knicks, and it's because of Jalen Brunson.
Absolutely.
There are moments that Aaron Judge has had which are fantastic in the context of the sport.
Yep.
Where you hit 3 home runs, you hit 60-something and hit 320 and win back-to-back MVPs, and you're all... But in the context of New York sports fandom, he hasn't won a championship.
Yeah.
So...
And he hasn't played well in the playoffs.
On top of the pedestal.
I agree.
They're putting Jalen Brunson's medal on top because it makes them feel a certain way that they haven't felt in a long time.
100%. Everything Sean even said about, Judge battles the ghost, he's right. I'm not saying you're wrong about that. In fact, everything you said was right, except for the last part, which is it's Judge, because it's not. And again, that goes back to what I said earlier, and you're taking it very personal. You shouldn't, because I respect you and love you. You're very biased in this one.
Okay. Maybe I'm biased. You're an overcompensator. We'll agree to disagree.
I don't like either team.
I know,
Why would I
but
be
you
overcompensating?
overcompensate with the IBO. You don't want Knicks fans to know you hate them. I
Yeah,
get it.
but
You won't
no,
slap my hand. Now Brunson's the
He's a
king. I
Knick,
get
he's
it.
a Knick draft.
Of course.
Well,
I
first
get
of all,
that.
I
supports
say
him.
all the time I hate the Knicks. I clarify, and then I say, okay, now I'm going to put my hat back on and be unbiased.
You're an overcompensator. That's fine.
But I don't like the Yankees either. This isn't a Met thing.
You hate the Knicks more.
Well, that's true.
Fair.
Damn,
You know what I've noticed about Sean?
What?
When he gets insulted by something, Trump does this very well, too. I think you learned this from the president. You push back with what the person said to them.
I think I learned that from Francesa, actually.
Francesa, Trump, and Morash.
Right.
All three of you guys, instead of arguing it, you're like, no, you, and you just attack back what
I think Trump definitely learned that from Francesa.
And you know who Francesa and Trump both learned it from?
Who?
Vince McMahon. Like, it's all learned from somebody else. We'll get back to your calls in a second. 888-808-1019 and more thoughts on what needs to happen tonight.
So, yeah, I think that's an interesting conversation because I wanted to talk about the King of New York, who's the King of New York sports. And look, it is between Judge and Brunson. It's not even close. I mean, maybe Jackson Dart can win it. If he wins the Super Bowl, maybe he can get up in that conversation. But when it comes down to Judge and Brunson, I see here's the thing, right? The thing that kind of equals it out is that Brunson has had the playoff moments where Judge has had the anti-playoff moments. He's been great in the regular season. Judge has been great in the regular season, not so great in the playoffs. And I get it. You only get to hit 4 times. You play the field. You can catch the balls that comes at you. Brunson has been great in the playoffs. I mean, absolutely amazing in the playoffs. Really had a bad playoff game. 4 straight 40-point games, 39 in the 5th game. Obviously no championships, right? But again, context. The Knicks, the NBA is a cap sport. Baseball isn't. The Yankees are pretty much the richest team in the sport. They put, he's had the most help around him. Therefore, the playoff failures are more pronounced. The Knicks were taking basically a non-playoff team before he came. When is the last time the Yankees missed the playoffs? I think they missed the playoffs one time since their last championship. So, you got to look at things in a vacuum, right? I know, it's a ring culture thing. Listen, Yankees expect to win a ring. They expect to win a ring over the course of Aaron Judge's. And it's hard to win put it away. It's hard. I'm trying to figure this out, right? It's more of a crapshoot in baseball. It's harder to win I think it's harder to win a ring in the NBA because what they're not seeming to understand is, okay, who are you going against? What teams are you going against? What coaches are you going against? Where in baseball, okay, yes, there's only so much the Judge can control with his 4 at-bats. There's only much he can control with his field opportunities. But you're still held to an account. If you drop in the playoffs like Judge has, and that's part of the game, right? You're playing against better pitchers. You're hitting against better pitchers. The moments are more pronounced. But again, you've had every year you're in the playoffs. You haven't even. The thing is too, he hasn't even gotten to the World Series. The Yankees haven't even gotten to the World Series since 2009. Okay, so that plays a part in it. Obviously the Knicks haven't gotten to the finals yet, but if we get to the finals, and that was the top of that conversation, basically it is Brunson because of the starting point. So look, Brunson said, and again, Brunson has his downfalls, right? He's not the best defender either, but again, it's a different sport. Baseball, you have to catch. Like, catching a ball is easy. Stopping a guy who's taller than you, quicker than you, faster than you, you know what I'm saying? That's the deal. So baseball, you can't drop. You can't. You got to make these plays, right? You don't make these plays, they become more pronounced. You get blown by in basketball, okay. Well, you go get them on the other side. And I get it. It's different sports and everything. But at the end of the day, yeah, Judge has to show up in the playoff. He has to. And I think I'm a casual baseball follower at this point. I think he had one pretty decent playoff run, but most of them he has not been good. Basically, all of Brunson's playoff run, he has been spectacular, whether the Knicks have won or lost. So that's the way you got to ultimately judge it, in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, right now, I do want to talk about the Knicks and, what happened game 1. I didn't get a chance to make a video predicting game 2. As I said, look, I got humbled a little bit. Being down 22, all right, and I was ready to give it all the garden variety excuses. Oh, Knicks were rusty, and that was clear. I mean, go to the point where you made 60% of your threes, in the last game, you're running kind of the same plays. Yeah, it wasn't as easy to get open, but the Knicks were clearly like tight, not making their shots. The shots were long. Even OG Anunoby, his legs weren't up there. Like OG Anunoby wasn't confident in his jump shot. Neither was Josh Hart. Brunson was off. Clarkson was off. Everybody pretty much was off. But the thing is, and I'll say this, right? The Knicks went, and this is the difference between the Knicks and the Boston Celtics. When the 3-point wasn't working, they went to their secondary moves. They went to their, Alvarado had a wide open 3, clanked. Here's the next 2 floaters. See, and again, when you go to overtime, every point, every shot matters. Okay, so the Knicks went to their secondary attack when the 3-point shot wasn't working. Cleaned up on the turnovers. Took care of the ball. Did everything they needed to do to get back into the game. And Cleveland, again, they picked on Harden the whole 9. So I'm looking at tonight's game 2. I do expect the Knicks to win. I expect the Knicks to win comfortably wide the wire. I do expect a shot. I think Cleveland will try to get back to what was working at the beginning of that game. But I think and that's what I'm saying, if the Knicks make their percentage of threes that they have, which I expect us to shoot a lot better, then I expect it's going to be a relatively close game. But I think the Knicks, especially with it being the more rested team, especially having the confidence after what happened in game 2, I don't see Cleveland really, and it's the thing, right? There's also the talk calls of benching James Harden. Will they do that? Should they do that? Well, if he becomes a defensive liability, a guy to get picked on like he was, and Brunson just absolutely, and it wasn't just Brunson. Once they got him off of Brunson, he still was not making the closeouts necessary to win that game. So we shall see. I like the Knicks to win. The Knicks need to win. Not give Cleveland any confidence. I think the Knicks, the longer this series goes, the more it will favor Cleveland. And I think, the Knicks need to kind of get Cleveland out of the way right away. So, I'm gonna end it here. I do want to get into my Detroit Pistons eulogy because I ain't forget about you brothers. And I haven't seen, ain't like y'all come to the podium and take y'all medicine, and that's what I don't respect, because I know if they had the Knicks lost, or if y'all were down, I'll be right out there. But it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna talk. We're gonna chat. All right, y'all. Peace.